Hello everyone, it's been a long time since the last motovlog. There's some beautiful West Virginia countryside over there. Leaves are finally starting to turn. But yeah, sorry it's been so long since the last motovlog. But I've been traveling across the lovely, amazing United States. Let's see if I can get ahead of all this. Hold on. Alright, where was I? Yeah, so been traveling like crazy the last couple weeks. Unless it's been cold, pretty bloody cold actually. And I actually put the leg guards on again this morning. I had them off for the summer because it was so bloody hot, of course. Go figure, hot in the summer, cold in the winter.
That's just about the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
But even though it's a little cold and dreary today, I'm going to ride because it's been a while and we can't be having that. So I guess we can talk a little bit about the trip. I did a video earlier kind of about where we went, so I won't go into it too much, but I'll talk about some interesting places that I was at. There were just... Well, most of what we did was national parks, and we saw, what, 4 or 5 of them? We had to cut a few of them due to time constraints, but we did get to see a ton of stuff. So let me go over some pros and cons of each real fast for you. So the first stop we did was the Colorado National Monument. It really wasn't planned. We actually camped like 2 miles down the road from there at a state park where we had to crash for the evening. And I was going to go buy an annual pass for the national parks, and they didn't sell it at the state office, but they said go up to the national monument up the road and they'll have it there. Well, it was kind of funny because the booth was closed. So basically it was like a free admission day. It's only $40 to get into this place. Right? And what you do is you drive up and around the mountain to get to close to the top or where it plateaus off. And there's a big visitor center up there, and then you go through there and there's a trail that leads you out back to some canyon country looking stuff, and you can see the national monument back there and get pictures. It's like a little 1 mile trail. I didn't bring any of my cameras. I don't even think I had my phone with me because I didn't expect the trail to be in there. Like I said, I was just going there to buy something. And, you know, the funny part is they didn't have anything at the visitor center. You couldn't buy the whole reason I went in there, but I'm glad I did. They didn't have it. But so we looked around that. It was pretty cool. We were done out there in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours total. Now we didn't look at the whole place. There were some other scenic views, but we were trying to get to Moab that day before nightfall, so you're not rushing camp, you know. So we got on out of there, and it was all right. I didn't see what else they had to do. I'm not sure if $40 was such a good price to get in that place. It was the most expensive park, and it seemed like the smallest, I guess. Like, so there were some good pullover spots for scenes, but I mean, nothing compared to what was coming. You get to overlook, what, scenic Fruita, Colorado? Fruita? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But, so that was Colorado National Monument. So that was $40. But, oh, so on our way out, the front gate was open again. And he sold us our annual pass for $80. You can get in any national park for an entire year. So if you discounted the $40 it would have taken us to get in, which we probably would have paid, that right there is already a $40 pass. So we made our way from there to Moab, Utah, which was a heck of a haul too. And since we were tent camping, we just stayed in town. More on that in another video. But there was like a little, you know, RV park / campground in kind of on the outskirts of Moab, right on the outskirts of it actually. So we stayed there. It was $31 a night. A little pricey, but they had really good facilities. Good shower facilities, always clean, you know. Bathrooms, laundry facilities. pool. They even had a pool. Of course, I didn't go in that. It was too bloody cold, but excuse me. So the next stop was Arches National Park. Arches is really famous for, well, go figure, it's arches. You know, it's sandstone or whatever arches that are standing out there. There's dozens of them out there. Big ones, smaller ones. So we got to see some of the really big ones. We didn't get a picture of the most famous one. I don't know if we just missed it or it might have been a real long hike. A lot of what you have to do to get there to see stuff is a pretty good hike. So if you're not a good hiker, don't bother with arches. I'm telling you right now, you won't get the most out of it. Once again, there's plenty of scenic pullover spots, and they were great and all for the view. But if you actually went out and get your hands and touch an arch, you know, and climb on one like I did, you got to get out and hike a bit. Some were not too far off a parking lot, like Double Arch had a centralized parking lot, but it was still a haul, you know. And actually, the best part of Arches for me was there was this primitive trail around, I think it was on the north end of Double Arch. The wife and I went around it, and it's probably about, you know, 30 to 45 minute walk, and you don't see anything out there. There's a few stone markers, you know, that they pop up little cairns so you can kind of get an inkling of where you're going. But for the most part, it was kind of guesstimating the best way back to the parking lot, you know. Cool scenery, cool to be away from the people and the crowds, because, you know, you get on the Arches and they're busy. It's a busy park. There's an all-day affair, and I would probably recommend spending 2 days there instead of killing yourself, trying to get everything done in one day like we did. It was a lot. We did a lot of driving, a lot of walking. The last hike we did in there, it was like the very last arch on the big circuit, and it was probably a 3-mile round trip hike, something like that. So at the end of the day, it's not much. It really isn't, but I mean, it's not the easiest. A lot of slopes and grades. So if you aren't in good shape, you don't want to go some of those arch paths, I'm telling you right now. But pretty cool stuff, man. Some good vistas, and, you know, pretty recommended. I guess on a scale of 5, I'd give it a 3 or 4, just in terms of what you can do and see quickly. You know what I mean? I'm considering 1 or 2 days into my factoring there, so, but tons more to do, like at the Colorado National Monument. It was $5 cheaper. I think it was $35 to get in there. So right now, I'm only $5 in the hole for the annual pass, right? So we went back and stayed at Moab again that night. That was like, Moab was our central firing point, because there's technically like 3 things that you can do that aren't too terribly far from there. Arches is like literally like 3-4 miles down the road from the outskirts of Moab. So our next destination was Canyonlands, actually Utah's biggest national forest, right, or national park, and it's supposedly the least visited. Kind of shocking, and it's a shame because it was my favorite. I think, at least of all the canyon country stuff, it was easily my favorite. The most sweeping vistas by far. We were an island in the sky. Now, here's a caveat. If you're going to do Arches, it's a multiple day endeavor. Do not just go there with a few hours to spend. I mean, we kind of did, but that's the one park I would like to go back and spend a week at with a 4x4, because you can do so much. There's like 3 huge sections of the park, and so much to see and do. But we did Island in the Sky, and it's very driver friendly. You do the circuit, because the Island in the Sky is like a plateau. It's like 1,000 feet above the surrounding scenery. So you get just the most amazing vistas. Best pictures I had of the trip, I think, were in this one, seeing the far off arroyos and canyons. Just absolutely incredible. Everything was nicely kept. I mean, the roads were, you know, easily navigable. Lots of great pullover spots. Most of the spots for seeing like the big vistas, or there's even an arch there. I think it's called, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a pretty famous arch there. That was about a 2-mile round trip hike to get to, but most of it was really close to the parking areas. So once again, if you're not huge on hiking, you're not going to be out of luck, you know. So Canyonlands, yes, awesome. I give that one a 5. Loved it, loved it, loved it. From there, back to Moab again. Now, we were going to go to Mesa Verde. the next day, and we were kind of running a little behind. We got a day later start than we wanted to get. My wife was wanting to get over to Vegas. She'd never been. So we kind of skipped it. But Mesa Verde, I think, is about 2 hours away. Now, the one bad thing about it is that you have to backtrack about 2 hours, I think, to get back to where we were, going to LA, or LA, Las Vegas. So that was a bummer. We had to cut it. I believe there's like some old, like, Aztecian style, like, carvings into the hills and stuff, and storage places, that the indigenous people used. So that would have been cool to see, but and I think there's some wall art, old wall art there. But we missed it, so we had to get to Vegas. I won't bore you with Vegas details. The drive out there was cool, because Utah, I love driving through Utah. Best state to drive through by far. Long, open roads, everything's 2-lane, everything's 80 miles per hour minimum. Pull over spots everywhere for scenic views. Great state to drive through. Loved it. So yeah, Vegas is Vegas. Next national park we went to, we were going to go to Grand Canyon. I wanted to skip it because of the crowds, and it was kind of out of our way, even though we were close to it, fairly close to it with Vegas, but it was like several hours out of the way. And once again, we were on a kind of a time crunch. Don't travel these with a time crunch. We did the whole circuit in basically a week, a little more, week and a half, something like that. But yeah, so the next thing we went and saw, also eschewed Hoover Dam, but because we actually spent 2 days in Vegas. We went to Yellowstone National Park. That was the next stop, over on the far border of Montana and in parts of like Wyoming and South Dakota. It's all over the place. Big park. Now, for sheer variety, Yellowstone probably took the cake. Because after a while, you start seeing the canyon country, and after a while, no offense to canyon lovers and all that, rocks start to look the same after a while, and the big vistas start to blend, and you start kind of pining to see some green that's not juniper, right? Well, Yellowstone is definitely the cure for that, because it is nothing but green and water, and just sheer variety there is incredible. You got like not like settling ponds, but you got like the steam pools everywhere, which have multiple colored hues due to chemicals and shimmer and all that. You got mud geysers, you got Old Faithful, regular geyser, We actually just caught the tail end of that as it was going off. What else? Wildlife. Actually saw some wildlife there.
There's this raccoon with a shower cap on.
I got some great pictures of an owl up in a tree. We got some bison pics. Saw some elk.
I smell meat.
Mule deer, I think I saw some there. Just lots of different things to see. And just for sheer variety, it was the best. It had it all. Woodland, it had canyon-esque stuff. They had like their own version of the Grand Canyon, which was incredible. Like these yellow, I guess, sulfur cliffs that a river was cutting through, and a huge falls. Just amazing, man. It was so cool. Amazing stuff. Another huge like lakes, and once again, just great, lots of great picture opportunities, man. You can never take enough pictures on these trips, right? And man, I got here just in time to catch school buses. Should have left about 10 minutes earlier. But just incredible. Once again, give that a 5. Visitor centers everywhere. The place has gas stations and a lodge on the premises. That's how big this place is, right? And how popular it is. One problem was a lot of crowds. But, it is what it is. Actually, once you got away from Old Faithful, it wasn't that busy. But if there was like an animal on the side of the road, people went nuts, man. Everyone just starts pulling over and taking pictures. And from there, the last one was the Rushmore National Monument. It was kind of on the way home anyway, so I figured, why not, right? Let's go see Rushmore. The park pass does not work there because you got to pay the parking fees, which is $10. But it's nice. The parking lot's really close to the monument itself. so it's not like it's a long haul to get there. But oh my gosh, this is gonna be forever. It was cool, but I would hate to make a trip to go see it. It was, well, we passed by Crazy Horse too. We were gonna swing up in there real fast, but they want $24 to get in there and see that unfinished thing. So I was like, no, we can see pretty well from the road. So we cheaped out and took some pictures, you know, because we weren't gonna stay all day for all the things they offered, right? But Rushmore was cool, and for $10, it is definitely worth it. Stay clear, their gift shop is really expensive, though, of course. But busy, real busy, but impressive nonetheless, man. And unfortunately, they were doing some construction around there, so there was fencing everywhere, and it kind of detracted a lot from the look of stuff. Oh my gosh. But that one, oh, I don't know, I'd give that one like a 2. It's got amazing grandeur and sweeping vistas, but yeah, I would hate to drive like 24 hours or 40 hours just to go see it, you know what I mean? Make sure there's other things you do there. Now, it is there in the Black Hills of South Dakota, when there was some pretty cool stuff. We didn't see any bighorn ram, but I was hoping to see some. But yeah, that was kind of the quick breakdown of some of the parks. So let's see, I think 2 of the parks were 35, there's 70, one of them was 40, so now we're talking 110. And what was Yellowstone? I think Yellowstone was only 30. So what, 140 bucks? And so we were actually 60 bucks ahead, in a manner of speaking. So get the annual park pass, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, so anyway, hope it kind of gives you an idea. Oh, and the Colorado National Monument, once again, give that a 2, just because I didn't see, once again, we didn't see everything was to see there, but it just seemed really expensive for what you got, you know. But anyway, thanks for watching, and there'll be more on each individual park with pictures and video footage in the near future. So until next time, this is Genome, out.